out, and barely able to pay their rent, one paycheck away from being homeless. We all know that's the case for a lot of people. So this whole thing is just going in a really bad direction, and I just like to point that out to people and what it's going to take to extricate ourselves from this mess. I say simple things to people, try to provoke thought, like whose planet is this anyhow? We should all think about that. Ask yourself, do we have a right, do I, little old me, have a right really to share in the bounty of this planet, the wealth that it inherently contains, and the labor force behind it, all these willing workers with their own individual talents? If I'm willing to jump in that pool with my talents, offer my skills and time for other people to be appreciated, then do I have a right to return? Yes, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Of course you do. And so I just like to make people think about things. I like to point out the VCR and how that is true capitalism. That's the net result, where your currency dramatically increases in worth. This whole idea of private property and home ownership, it's great. I'm a big proponent of home ownership. I wish everybody that wanted to own a home should be able to own a home. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, as many homes as you want all over the world. But who's going to take care of them? See, we got to share stuff to some degree, just so that this whole thing works. It doesn't mean you can't stay where you are as long as you want. It doesn't mean you can't go visit any place you want, and stay relatively in the same area that you want to be, maybe a better area. You thought, well, this is the cat's meow here in this house, but it turns out somebody's there, and they plan on, you never know when they're pulling up stakes to move to one of their other houses, your houses, our houses, whatever. Then you go, wow, here's another house, and this one's even better. I'm staying here forever. It doesn't, you see what I mean? This whole thing could work. We could have such an abundance on the face of the earth for everybody. Clean energy technology, we don't have to wreck the planet. We don't need crowded freeways. We can fix that with just adding more. We've got to do whatever is necessary, and a lot of those people don't even have to be on the freeways. And we could have monitoring lights. I mean, I wonder who these traffic engineers are and how they got their degree, because, I say to myself, how about if they put up traffic monitors that say, look, if they know, that there's traffic is stopped, 2 miles ahead, and everybody's racing along at 80 miles an hour, it's not going to work. So they tell people, slow down now to 45, okay? And that way, by the time you reach the sluggish traffic that's stop and go, then nobody's stopping. You understand? You're all doing 45 still. You get what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes I do feel like the smartest guy in the world. And like I've said before, it doesn't feel good. It's like you're an alien. But, I do like to take the opportunity whenever I meet people, and I digress onto this because I'm trying to explain why I'm kind of a cowardly reporter, is because I don't like confrontation. I really don't. I don't have the Constitution. I don't know, whatever it is. But, maybe someday, if God wants me to do that, then, I'll get into reporting and interviewing people more. But in the meantime, I've just got to do what I can do, to get my point of view out, because I don't hear anybody else doing it, okay? Not that's got any kind of venue that's being listened to on a mass scale. So I do my little video blog, and if one person watches, fantastic, because that's all I want to do. I just want to share stuff and let other people share ideas, and we all grow together here. That's the way it works. It's a chain reaction. Ideas are bulletproof. Ideas spread. If they're good ideas, then they'll spread. And I have confidence that I do have good ideas. And I point things out that other people just don't point out as succinctly as I do. And I really try to keep economic stuff simple and try to understand why the worth of your currency should go up and not down if there's any progress being made. And why there are all these forces working against that happening. And they've been very successful and made it go the other direction for decades, my whole life. So if any younger people out there are frustrated with crony capitalism, which again is fascism, and all this communist talk about taking from, this redistribution of wealth, right? These talking points sound so good. I get it, believe me. I understand. And who doesn't love Robin Hood, okay? Who doesn't love socialism, like, It's a Wonderful Life? Because wasn't that essentially what, a socialist thing? All the townspeople coming together and, we're gonna really rally around the good guy, man. We're gonna just castigate this evildoer, and we're gonna get our way here. We're gonna get this good guy is gonna be our king, not this evil guy. Yeah, I get it, man. I get good socialists and a good capitalist are two peas in the pod. We're egalitarian. We want good to prevail. So these people have told us we got to be at each other's throats when it's not true. They've divided us by intent, by design. So it's progress. We learn easier ways to create the stuff we want. Like a house, for example. We can whip it up. A group of builders can whip up a house in a month or so. I mean, it doesn't take long, okay? With the state of the art tools out there and all this stuff, we should, we're stamping them out like pancakes, okay? It's easy. And I've already pointed out with the existing inventory of housing in America, we'd house every homeless man, woman, and child in America and still have 90% of the vacant available housing left over, not including hotels and motels even. So there's absolutely no excuse. We're all without excuse. And not just in America, but all over the world. But this business about immigration, what gets me about this sanctuary city business is that we're letting our own homeless people, native sons and daughters, okay, born in America, that's a native. If you're born in a land, you're a Native American. Maybe not Native Indian American, but you're a Native American if you're born in America. So we're letting these people die out on the streets, okay, and we're going to act like I'm the mean guy because I don't think that we're set up to let every immigrant and every refugee in the world come to America. I mean, and you're going to call me the incompassionate one, and it just pisses me off to no end. And I absolutely abhor anybody thinking things about me that's not true, okay? And one thing I am is compassionate. And I love and care about all people. And I don't care if the whole freaking planet wants to immigrate to California. I'm fine with that. We can fit everybody comfortably. If the entire Earth population can fit in the city of Jacksonville, Florida, believe me, we can all fit with plenty of real estate here in California and probably very close to the coast, at least with an ocean view. Really, that's the fact of the matter. And we don't need traffic congestion or none of that stuff, okay? We can beat these liars and cheaters and thugs and murderers out, okay? This New World Order cabal, all their associated minions, witting and unwitting, and we can have it our way, okay? We can have our cake and eat it too because we're not evil, okay? And we can, that's it, man. It's just like Burger King. Have it your way. Be all you can be, like the Army says, like their motto. And we can all have it our way and be all we can be and play together in peace and harmony like loving children filled with joy and contentment and just in a euphoric state. That's what we can have even now, okay, with death and all this stuff we got to face, the natural disasters, the accidents, all the miseries of just being human, the punishing heat, the freezing cold, the stinging insects, all these things, the predation out there, the curse that was put upon the earth, which I think relates to all this predator, and prey mentality we see. It's, this is not what initially God meant for us. And again, I pointed out that, we don't need death because God owns the life force. And anytime he says the earth is populated to my satisfaction, he simply pulls that life force. We can explore other planets if we want to keep breeding. And we procreating, then we can find other places to go right in our own neighborhood. That's our galaxy, where there's all these habitable planets out there. Okay, so it's a wild, wonderful universe, and we're in this thing forever, and we're part of this cosmic tapestry, and we need to get comfortable with it, and we need to do that through love, and that's the only answer. It's just through that power of God to love one another. And if you learn to love your enemy genuinely, really caring about them, wanting the best, wanting if they're ignorant, if you believe they're deceived, then you've got to do it as tactfully, as diplomatically as possible to reach them. I saw Rob Dew talking about this recently, about the Mike Pence incident at the theater and all that. And, he pointed out there wasn't anything particularly, that was vindictive against Mike Pence. I mean, it's free speech. It's America. We all should be feel free to say what we want to say without worrying about offending somebody. But it happens because, one person says something, somebody else retorts, then somebody else shuts the person that retorted down. And so, there becomes this prevailing consensus that's unspoken about who was right and who was wrong to speak out about this political subject first, which politics and economics are all one and the same, okay? It's just the same thing. It's how we're going to spend the wealth of the nation. It's all fraudulent. All these politicians are just, look who they are. They don't produce anything. They're just thieves, okay? They don't care. They lie and steal and cheat the people. They know that they're taking the humanity down paths we don't want to go, and it's not for our betterment, Okay, it's for our worserment, if that's a word. Maybe I can coin it. But the point is that things can't get better. Not going the way we're going, and they know that, and they really don't give a crap. Okay, they are haters of humanity, and they want to commit genocide on an unthinkable level. If you read the Georgia Guidestones, look at their plan. They want to get the earth down to 500 million people. That's some 90+% of us they would like to get rid of if they had their way. And that's why we need something big to happen, something really big, something like biblically big that Jesus talked about, the end of the age, and this whole cosmic visitation, proving that there is these higher beings called angels, the harvesters of the souls of men as described, the return of Jesus, all this stuff, as far out as it sounds, man, and it sounds far out to me too. I'm not trying to be